divinity, when there are more people. Those of you that have seen the movie The Secret have heard, and it's available other places as well, a group back in the 60s or whenever it was, of transcendental meditation practitioners got together, held thought, and during the time of their meditation, according to FBI reports and other things, violence didn't happen, automobile accidents didn't happen, etc., etc. There was a peace that descended that was created as a morphic field, or however you want to explain it. But the reality is, when a gang gets together with the intent and love, then things change and a peace can happen. And so when we gang up on somebody and do some of the practices that the Ozark Research Institute has documented for a number of years, of Arkansas, and the work of Harold McCoy, which I've studied, and again, amazing stuff, but do work like this, then you've got great, and on top of that, I'm going woo-woo here, when you have angelic help, who's going to mess with you? Well, there are those who might try to mess with you, but then you have protection against that. And there are certainly archangels on the side of love who are very powerful beings. So, yeah, when we gang up, we can kick some hiney.
Yeah, that has a good effect sometimes on people. Now, a lot of times I can be in a crowd of people and tune them all out. Okay, now what is that called? Does that have a name?
Changing your awareness. You're just practicing a consciousness technology. In meditation, I don't know how often you practice meditation or what sort of meditation you practice, but this can be learned like any other skill, like riding a bicycle or driving a car. One can learn to, and it may take practice. And let me just jump off to the side here for a minute, Kathy, and talk about this, because people hear that, oh, all kinds of things, all things are possible with God. You probably heard that one. But people get frustrated because they try and it doesn't work. Well, the way I heard it described best was the analogy by Dr. Hawkins, the fellow that wrote Power versus Force and a number of other books, which I heartily recommend. But he described it as the idea of like launching a rocket to the moon. When you first have your ignition sequence starts and those thrusters start firing, the thing doesn't hardly move at all. It's just going ever so slightly, and it takes tremendous effort to overcome the Earth's gravitational pull. Tremendous effort, tremendous effort, tremendous effort. And then it clears the gantry, and then it goes on up into space. And then once it leaves the Earth's gravitational pull and becomes weightless, it takes hardly any effort to send it shooting across the skies or the space. But when that first starts, it's hard, it's difficult. And I'm not saying it's not. This stuff, it may be simple, but it's not easy. But practice makes better. And if you don't give up on yourself, whoever you are watching this, if you don't give up on yourself and you want something, you can have it, you can get it, and you can learn how. There are things, circumstances, morphic fields that will try to stop you, but Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. And just as he did that, any other morphic field can be overcome or worked around. So, what was the question?
There you go. Okay, I got something, 2 things I'm going to put out there to you. After my mom passed, I wanted to know if she was okay. I'm a Taurus, so we have to know everything.
Sure, me too.
So, I kept, asking, is she okay? Is she okay? Because, nobody tapped me on my shoulder or anything like that. She used to tap me on my shoulder a lot. So when one night it was 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll never forget it. 2 months after she passed away, there was a